Hello, everybody. It's been a long time. How you doing? Welcome back to another Harry Partridge Tonight live stream. Although today, it's not just Harry Partridge Tonight, because I'm joined by my good friend, Gregor Scott. Say hello, Gregor. Gregor, if you don't know, guys, I put a link to Gregor's channel in the description. Gregor is an animator, editor, video creator. You do a lot of different things, Gregor. Yeah, also Gregor just wears a lot of hats as well. Some big hats, some massive hats. So guys, I'm going to be doing some work today. We're going to do some fun stuff too, but Gregor's going to be helping with reading chat, keeping things going, also creating the challenges and the fun that we're going to get around to in a little bit. I just want to see very quickly, there's a super chat from Magpie, which I think that's Magpie Raven. Thank you very, very much for the super chat, Magpie. She says, hey, it's been a while. How are you? I'm all right, thank you. That's yeah, how are you, Gregor? I'm desperate to know. Well, how are you, Magpie? Obviously, you know, you're throwing around your money, so I take it you're doing okay for yourself. With that, yeah. Okay, Gregor is quiet. Let me try and turn up Gregor. Oh, okay, Gregor.
Yeah. Am I here? No.
Okay. So, everyone, it looks like we just had a major glitch. It sounded like I was probably talking to nobody, but I'm actually joined by Gregor here. Say hello, Gregor. Gregor, say hello.
Yeah, hello. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Just to... Hello, everyone. I have been here this whole time. I've been absolutely killing it, and all of it's now lost to time. So
how the hell did I do that? We spent like half an hour trying to set it up before the stream.
Yeah, it was a huge pain. We had it working, but yeah, who knows?
So we spent, Gregor took time out of his day to try and get my big stupid caveman brain to understand OBS. And I sent him audio tests, and we tried to, I'm so sorry, Gregor. I'm so sorry, audience, too.
I had to get an express window because you sent it on a rock through the window, smashed it to bits.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I can't read your name because it's an O with a line through it, but they say, oh, whoa, Gregor is real. Yeah, Gregor is real.
I am real. I'm not a voice in Harry's head. Don't worry about it.
If you can, anyone let me know, because now I haven't done a nice audio test. I actually don't know if Gregor is audible enough. I mean, I take it people can hear you.
Too loud or too quiet. It seems like it. Yeah.
I'm going to just tweet out a link to the stream now that we can hear Gregor.
Yes. Now that that's sorted and out of the way.
That's so embarrassing.
Dude, they didn't hear the many hats joke. Dude, that sucks.
Yeah, it was a good joke. It was a good joke.
It was a good joke.
I was trying to introduce Greg. I guess you heard that part, but I said that Gregor is a guy that does lots of editing. He's helped me on a couple of videos, been production assistants and stuff on Dogtooth and Dr. Bees.
And Greg, I wear many hats.
And Gregor said he wears...
redoing it? It's a dramatic retelling.
Yeah, redo the joke.
I wear many hats.
Gregor wears many hats. That was basically the joke.
Yeah, that's like the best version of the joke. It's just like 2 lines long. Oh man.
Okay, I'm just live streaming out a link to the people, or tweeting out a link. I don't know the lingo. All right, so today, everyone, we're working on a cartoon of mine that has sadly been in production for a very, very long time, because it was started a long time ago, and I'm thinking finally it's probably worth finishing and releasing. And it's a Pokemon cartoon. Apparently, it's 2013.
It is, yeah. Pokemon cartoons are all the rage, I hear, at the moment. So.
Yeah, that's basically when I started it. So it's a project that's been going on for a long time. Not like I've been spending, 8 years working on it, but it's just that it started a long time ago, and now I think it's worth finishing. So we're going to do a bit of cleanup today, but we also have some other fun things. Did you want to get to the fun stuff first, Gregor?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to do a round of it to warm up? I can explain the kind of thing we were going to do.
Let's do that. And also I should repeat as well that Gregor is going to be reading comments, I guess. And if there's any super chats that I miss, Gregor, please let me know, because I don't want to be missing that. Thank you again to Magpie for her super chat earlier. I'm glad that it was the right Magpie, because...
Yeah. Cheers for that. So yeah, we have a plan today for just something fun to kind of get Harry warmed up, and also to kind of break the stream up as we go, because it's going to be a lot of just the same work. Um, I sort of came up with an idea for Who's That Pokemon challenge. And it should just be a good bit of fun to break things up. So I've got a random Pokemon generator on my screen, and I can click a button and get any Pokemon from any region at random. And what I'm going to do is not say which Pokemon it is, but describe it to Harry, who is then going to draw it blind. And then once he's done, we will reveal it. And I will keep an eye out for any of you in the chat who figure out what it is early. So make sure you're sending your guesses as we go.
So I want to tell everyone that I do not know anything about Pokemon, really.
Me neither. I used to play, I played Gem 1 way back, and then I think Diamond, which is Gem 4, and that's literally the last time I touched Pokemon. But I do love the characters. I think they're really cool. That is an excellent Pikachu.
Well, thank you. I think this is Pikachu. So I know the original 150. I played Red, Blue, and Yellow basically back 1,000 years ago. I played those games. The only things I've seen since then have been watching Joyce play video games. I think she got Sword and Shield. Was that the last one that came out about a couple months ago?
I think that's the most recent one.
Yeah, so those are the only ones that I watched her play it, but I couldn't tell you any of the Pokemon. There's one that was like the dragon that came out of a bigger dragon. I can't. So So if I told Gregor, you can tell me Pokemon names, and I won't even be able to get who they are.
Yeah, but I don't know. How do people in chat think? Should I tell you what the Pokemon is before we start so that you can look it up, or should we wait until the end for like a big reveal? What do people think? We'll maybe wait a second to let the chat catch up. I
should add that even if Gregor tells me the name, I'm not going to know who it is. If I do know who it is, I will say to Gregor, and we won't do that Pokemon. But there's 99.9% chance I'm not going to know who the heck it is if Gregor throws out a name.
And same here. I've cycled through this a couple times, and every time it's just been like, what on earth is that Pokemon? So I'm seeing at least one person say leave it a surprise. So
okay, well we can do that. I mean, I'm going to get a nice thinner brush because this is not going to be very good for drawing. But let me get something a little bit better set up. And this is, guys, we're only going to do this briefly as kind of a warm up, and then we're going to hop into a little bit of animation cleanup, which will be a lot less entertaining. It'll be a lot more boring watching me clean up animation.
But we'll chat and we'll answer questions. It should be fine. But yeah, this is just like a fun side thing to break the stream up when we feel like it. So
okay.
Should be good. Terranium says he has an encyclopedic knowledge of all the Pokemon, which is great because I was really hoping somebody would, because then he'll be able to hopefully guess. We'll see. All right, are we ready to go? I will generate Pokemon number 1.
Okay, yeah, we're ready to go.
Let's do it. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that's interesting.
Okay.
Right. Okay, let me start describing this to you. So, this is a quadrupedic animal, which means it's on all fours.
Okay.
It's on 4 legs.
Okay. I mean, I can't really start drawing until I get a general idea, so I'm just gonna...
Yeah, so it's got a big, fat, round body.
Okay, big, fat, round body. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
With kind of 4 mammoth-like stumps at the bottom, like with hooves and kind of fuzzy hair.
Okay. All right.
Yep. And then on one side of it, and this is going to be difficult because I'm at a slight delay on the stream, but it should be fine. On one side, it's got like 3 circles.
What are they?
Like, they're just like texture on the. It's just like random things someone added on.
Okay. Can I have that later on? Can you want to?
Sure. Yeah. Let's
give me the broad strokes. Yeah.
The head. So, the head is like, it's got a snout. It's a small head kind of on the front, kind of left-hand side.
Okay. Well, I mean, it doesn't. Okay.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah. It's got a head with kind of a snout at the bottom.
Yep. Okay.
It's hard to get very precise with what I'm seeing, but yeah, it's got kind of round head, snout at the bottom, 2 nostrils at the very top end of the snout.
Yep. Okay, so it's got a snout with nostrils. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's roll with it.
I'm just drawing a bad cartoon elephant, but keep going.
Yeah.
What's unique about it?
Yeah, it's okay. Let's go for that. It's got like weird like stone bits on top. It's got like two kind of round obelisks on its back. It's weird to say.
Wait. I might know this one, Gregor.
Oh,
Is this the thing that... Okay, because I've seen the animated Pokemon movie. Does it look like it has basically a car tire for a back? Like, it's an elephant with, like, treads on its back. Kind of like that.
it's hard to say. I'm waiting for the stream to catch up. No,
Okay.
I say let's keep going with it. So it's got like two kind of cow ears on either side of the head.
Two cow. Wait, how do cows have? Wait, what?
They're kind of floppy and long.
Okay.
So, honestly, seeing the stream catch up there, you may be thinking of the right one.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking. Okay, I'm gonna draw it from memory, and you just tell me if it's correct. Okay.
Yeah. So it's got like.
I'm gonna say it's okay because I have seen the animated Pokemon movie, and sorry to everyone if this was a bad one to start off on. I did basically tell Gregor that I knew no Pokemon, so
it's a very weird looking Pokemon. Like it's not. It's kind of strange. I don't know. I'm not sure what gen it is. I'm not sure what region it is. Let's see here. I'm not seeing anyone guess it in the chat so far. It's not Rocky. It's not Don Fan either. It's not Horton from Horton Hears a Who.
okay.
It's not. Yeah, the one that you're thinking of, it's not that. I actually recognize that one too. But
Oh jeez. Okay, so it's not like the armadillo elephant thing from the Pokemon movie.
It's not. It's got it's kind of similar body, like it's a big fat round body, but it doesn't have a hard shell.
Okay. All right. Should we just?
Do you want to just cut this one? We can try again.
Let's cut this one. Let's try again.
Okay. It was called Camerupt, and it had like stone on the back. I guess maybe like volcanoes, but there's no fire.
I'm gonna look up Camerupt. Okay, so it's
Camerupt.
So it's a camel. I was thinking elephant the whole time. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what this thing is. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Basically it's a cow with
Yeah, it's like you see what I mean? Like the rings add nothing. It's like very strange.
This is Camerupt. Yeah, you were right. It just has circles. I thought when you said circles, you meant like I don't know, armor or like some kind of growth. You know, a physical thing. Okay, I think Camerupt we're gonna have to put down as being a bit of a fail.
It looks like Matt got it.
Wow.
Potentially. Yeah, there he is. There he is.
Matt swept in and got it. Oh, all right. Well, I'll try another one. Give me another one, Gregor. And if you can, give me the broadest stroke so I can kind of lay out the body first.
Okay, yeah. Let's do that. I'll go broad strokes first and then detail. So 3, 2, 1. New Pokemon.
Yep.
Okay. Draw a circle for the head.
Okay.
It's pretty much just a circle.
Okay. That's a nice circle. Yeah, okay. Yep.
And so then we have, imagine like big Sonic the Hedgehog eyes, like a big visor on that circle.
Okay, so it's got Sonic eyes. That's no good. All right.
Yeah. And then we have a smaller circle as like the first part of the body, behind the first one.
Okay.
I'm delayed. I'm seeing the Sonic eyes going. Yeah. And then behind that, there's like a big long stick part of the body.
All right.
And it's sticking out from the circle.
Okay. Is it like a dragonfly?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's something like that. It looks like a Sonic the Hedgehog robotic dragonfly right now.
It does. Yeah. It's got 6 legs underneath.
Underneath what? Coming out of the middle circle?
Yeah, coming out of the middle circle.
Are they realistic legs? Or are they like little stubby legs?
They're like little stick legs.
Okay.
Like little insect legs.
All right, well...
This is actually not bad so far. And then it's got like 2 tufts up on its head, like above the visor, like 2 kind of almost like quills, like Sonic quills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But much thinner, maybe.
Much thinner quills. Okay, so...
Yeah.
All right.
And then it's got two big dragonfly wings.
Okay, so it is like a dragonfly.
W Defender and Matthew Presser both got it right.
Okay, now what about the nose? Does it have a nose or anything, or a mouth?
It has like two little pincers below the Sonic eyes.
Okay, and does it have any stripes or?
No, it's like completely red in the body. The visor's like green. I don't know if we'll do colors necessarily, but yeah, the wings are just like big.
Throw some colors.
There you go.
There you go. What did you say? What color are the wings? They're just like normal wings?
They're just like gray. They're just like transparent.
All right. And what about the quills on its head?
Also red.
Okay. This
They're kind of like all one piece.
All right. This is a horrible looking Pokemon. I hate it.
It's very weird. Yeah. Like even the one I'm looking at is strange. I mean that's gonna go for most Pokemon.
What color are the pincers coming out of its mouth?
Also red.
Also red. Is there any variation in the red?
No, it's all just like the same red. There is like shading, but
okay. All right. Okay. Well, what's this guy called? I'll look him up.
His name is Yanma. Yanma.
Yanma.
Yeah.
Yanma. Oh, okay. Oh, he's a bit more cute than I. Okay.
Okay.
my one is kind of stupid looking, but he's actually quite cute.
He is. Yeah. He's kind of sorry looking, but in a cute way, I guess.
Okay. All right, you want to try another one?
Sure. One more, and then we'll crack on with the rest of the stream.
All right, let's do another one after Yanma. I think he's okay. He's all right. I would have Yanma in a team.
I can show you the sprite I had. That one, like the ones you're finding are much nicer. Maybe what I should do is look up a better picture. I'll just send it to you. You can maybe put it in Flash. Like that's what I'm looking at to describe it. It's just like a tiny little sprite.
All right. Well, maybe. Well,
I'll look it up and then I'll find a better picture to describe it. And then I'll send it to you.
Hit me with another Pokemon.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
What on earth is that? Okay. Okay. All right. Let me look up a better picture so I can describe this. Okay. Right. So this is like a big lizard. So it's kind of very thin. I'm trying to think where to start. So maybe just start with the head.
A big lizard.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've just seen your little Geodude there. That's funny.
It's a high quality. Okay, so a big lizard.
A big lizard. Okay. Right. So start with the head. It's got just like a little circle head with like inset eyes, kind of like a dragon head, kind of thing.
Okay.
The weirdest thing about it is it's got two massive, like, what would you call it? Like horns, like a dragon would have going back, but in the middle of the horns is like a big, it's like expanded out into a bowl.
Wait.
On each one.
Wait. It has horns that turn into a bowl?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has the bowls in the middle of it.
Wait.
It's so hard to describe.
Wait. So I do like a big horn like that.
Imagine you like sculpted like two big horns out of clay. I need to wait a second.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know if that would affect the stream if you like shared your screen with me, so I'd be able to see it right away.
I think I can imagine them meeting. Are the two horns meeting, and therefore?
Yeah, they're like going straight back rather than curved like you were drawing.
Okay, but how do they? Oh man.
Yeah, so imagine they were made out of clay, and you just took your thumbs and like pushed into it and left like two big divots in the horns. If that makes sense, it's really weird.
Okay. Wait. I can't. Okay. So he has two horns, but they what? They make one bowl?
They make two bowls that are like connected, and then they split apart again at the end.
No. I'm gonna draw what that sounds like to me, and we're gonna move on. Okay?
Yeah. Draw what it sounds like, and we'll move on.
I don't know. This is stupid.
This is such a weird idea.
What? Okay, so
Okay, have you drawn the bull, the weird bull horns?
No,
then?
I'm not. No, I'm still struggling with this concept on a basic level. I don't understand it. I'm just drawing
Yeah.
really big horns that meet, but then to me that kind of looks like a bowl or something. It looks like a round thing. We're just gonna move on, Gregor. It looks like
Sure.
crap. Looks like complete crap.
Okay.
Yep.
It's what's the name for like a dragon that doesn't have 4 arms? I forget, but its arms are wings, like big wings, but they're not like wings with like skin in between. They're like solid. If that makes sense.
They're what, like a bird?
I guess so, but not feathery, like hard. I'm just keeping an eye on the chat to make sure no one said it.
Oh man, I don't...
Let's see. It's not. I'll be honest. It doesn't look much like.
like I've drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I think that's fine.
Arrgh! Okay, he's coming at you. Watch
It
out.
kind of looks like 2 big shark fins actually for wings.
Okay, all right. I'll just draw big shark fins then.
Someone has got it in chat. Smearlull. You have guessed correctly. It is. It's that Pokemon. So
it just looks like a manta ray then, kind of like a manta ray.
it does, yeah.
Okay,
So,
I've drawn like a cow's face because when you said lizard, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I drew like a weird happy anime cow. All right. Okay.
there you go. So big shark fins for hands with
Yep.
like little claws coming out of the very like bottom.
Oh, cool.
Of it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
When you say wait, you see the bottom, you mean like the top corners or?
like the lowest point.
Oh,
Like
lowest
down low.
point. What the hell?
Yeah. Like at the very end of those lines you've drawn.
Okay.
And then it kind of loops back up and like completes like a shark fin shape.
This is a disaster. Is there any more detail or anything I want to finish this one up. It looks like
Yeah. So it's
crap.
got a big fuzzy bit at its neck. You haven't drawn it with the neck.
Okay, wait. It
Okay.
has a big fuzzy bit. Okay,
Better than.
it's got a nice cravat of fur. That's just the kind of guy he is.
It's all just one bit.
Okay, great.
That's so funny. Okay. Yeah, and then it's got like a thin like lizard body, like Greninja or something.
It has a body,
Yeah, it has a body.
and it just has a thin body.
Yeah, with like lizard legs and a lizard tail. What kind of lizards have I been looking at? I look at lizards on the regular. I'll have you know I'm a lizard expert. This is such a weird point. When you see this, you're gonna understand why this was so difficult to describe.
Okay.
Ugh.
All right. Well, I just drew a thin body. I don't want to draw a lizard body.
Yeah, like a skeleton body. That's great.
Yeah. Does he have
right.
arms? Are the arms the wings?
The arms are the wings. So if you've given him a tail, that's it basically ready to go. So
Okay, great. What color is he?
he is like gray and purple.
Okay.
So he's gray like on the
No, I can't be bothered with that, Gregor. He's just
Just
gonna be
leave the
gray.
color, leave the color. Well, I just send you the Pokemon.
He's gonna be gray with purple horns, okay, and a little bit of purple fur, and
Yeah.
that's gonna create a nice layer of detail there on top
This
of it.
is gonna look fantastic
Okay.
compared to the real thing.
What's it called, by the way?
It is called Noivern.
Noivern.
Yes, and I have a picture ready to send you in Discord. So
Okay, I don't know how to spell Noivern. I'm gonna spell it
Yeah.
like.
Noivern, and
Oh,
here's
okay.
the picture.
All right, send me the picture in the Discord. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean about the bulls now, like on the horn?
Yeah.
What a crazy Pokemon.
Okay, let me stick that in there. There we go.
You know, it's not far off. I love that it just has a Charizard head. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, I would basically have described it as start with a pterodactyl and put speakers, like 2 speakers in its skull.
I guess they do look like speakers, yeah.
But
they
yeah.
kind of look like bulls to me because they're solid. You know, it looks like bulls with like.
I know what you
ceramic
mean.
pattern on them.
Yeah. I see what you mean. I think mine is much better. Mine is infinitely better. We should have.
Norbert the Noivern.
We should contact what the Pokemon people called. They have a name. Is it Game Freak?
The Pokemon Company.
Yeah, the Pokemon Company. We'll contact
Yeah.
them and we'll say use my Noivern, please.
Yeah, I'm sure fans would love that.
All right, well, there we go, guys. That was our fun Pokemon drawing challenge. Thank you very much to Gregor for reading
Yeah.
out.
that was very difficult, but it was good fun. The Noivern was the best one, to be honest, even though it came out probably the furthest.
He's a good guy. All right, well, I'm gonna move on with my cleanup, guys. Won't show you too much of the scene I'm working on, but basically, a Magikarp is being repeatedly brained against a door frame. It's being beaten to death. Basically, that's the premise of the scene. So we've got some shots here, but we need some. Yeah, we're going to clean up this shot here, which is a close-up. Obviously, the background is important here. We need to see the door, and it's going to be repeatedly going bam, 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 like that. So lots of blood is going to be splatting all over the place. We won't animate the blood today. I'm just going to animate the Magikarp in close-up, and Greg will be helping out today and reading the chat and feeding any questions that pop up. So by all means, please keep things going, folks. Thank you for coming.
Will do. Right. If anyone has questions, fire them away, and I'll hit Harry with them while he hits a Magikarp against the door. I love those frames, by the way. I've just seen them pop up.
Well, thank you. It's. I mean, I'm really just flying by the seat of my pants here, but we'll get it done. We'll get it done.
Yeah. All right. Chat takes a second to catch up. I'm gonna switch to live chat so I get all of them. There we go. Yeah, that was pretty mad. The challenge thing. I think the biggest difficulty was the fact that it was so delayed. Like, I had to wait for stream to catch up.
You can't see what I'm drawing, and I'll draw something, and you need to be able to immediately go, no, that's wrong, or whatever. So.
Yeah.
Oh well.
All right. Okay. Let's see. We've got questions coming in now. Terranium asks, Gregor, why are you so bad at describing things? I'm sorry, man.
Why are you so bad at describing things, Gregor?
I mean, I would describe it, but that's kind of a problem.
If you described why you were bad at it, you would mean, it would. We wouldn't make. It would be sound like a menu or something you were reading. I wouldn't know what was going on.
Problem solved there, if I can manage it. Smearlaw, where do you get motivation to draw as often as you do?
Me?
Yeah.
It's my job. Me. If I don't draw, I don't eat. And I love to eat. So make no mistake, I love food. So no, it's my job. I if I don't do it, I'm fucked.
You need to afford those pizzas somehow, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you know what, right? So I was talking to Joyce the other day about pizzas, and she is disgusted by this. And you probably should be. Any human being should be. But my fantasy, my idea of an actual fantasy scenario is a hot pizza, like a basic kind of pepperoni. Wait, which is the one that they put on pizza? Pepperoni pizza, and cold mayonnaise on top of the pizza.
Whoa! That's great.
Is that you would eat that?
I would 100%.
Okay. I'm sure the chat wouldn't. They probably have a lot more taste than us.
But... probably get some gross out messages in chat.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how people in chat or you, Harry, feel about cold pizza in general.
I love cold pizza.
Yeah, dude. It's the best. It's such a good lunch.
I love it. I did a challenge a while ago on Twitter. I said, okay, this is the broke warm pizza cold donuts, or the woke warm donuts cold pizza.
Cold pizza.
Very good combination. A warm donut. A donut warmed up is pretty damn good.
Yeah, both at once sounds great.
Yeah. I would.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so I can't remember what we were even talking about now, but somebody else, I got to draw. It's very important to me. You know, if I don't draw and things don't get made, then I'm not achieving my dreams in life, which are related to, you know, storytelling in the visual sense. I like comic books and movies and cartoons, but also it's because it's become my job, which is a very fortunate and lucky thing for me. If I don't do that, then it's I'm in trouble. You know, if I just sit on my thumbs for 6 months and don't draw, then nothing gets made. And I know that it looks that way when it takes 6 months for a cartoon to come out, but that's because they take a long time. So
yeah. I mean, I wish there was like a really good way to like help people understand like the reasons why a cartoon takes so long beyond just the fact that animation takes like a laughably long time to do.
Well, it's partly my bad organization is a big part of it.
That's true. I mean, that's kind of why I'm here. I've been helping organize certain elements of animation behind the scenes without going into too much detail.
We're hoping to do more of that. It's all about having a well-oiled machine, and the more people, the more organization you have, the easier it is to bring people on board, because then you'll know how much money there is to spend, and you'll be able to easily break jobs down for people and say, hey, could you help us with this, or could you help us with that? But right now, this cartoon, like everything I've ever done, is an enormous clusterfuck of not really knowing exactly where things stand right now, and even this could have been completed in a lot quicker of a turnaround if the organization was there. But we talked about it. We know what needs to happen. It really just needs to be that a very good storyboard and animatic, which is an animated storyboard, needs to come together with a basic soundtrack. And from then on, you can start to divvy up the jobs: character design, background art, animation in between. You can start to kind of figure all that out. But right now, as Gregor is painfully aware, we don't even have an animatic for this effing cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a little bit of rough here for Magikarp getting blasted, but
we have rough animation, but that's all honestly, let me show you actually an issue today that I had, because I don't think this is giving away a major plot. And this is a simple thing. Yeah, okay, you can see he's like losing his mind. So we have a young lady named Amy helping on the coloring, and today Amy sent this shot back that she colored for me. She did a good job. Although I'm seeing a gap. That's it. Amy is stricken from the records. No, Amy is still worthwhile. I just saw a little gap there I want to fix. So there's a shot where he's gonna kind of like that. He basically gurs like that before exploding into action. But I believe it or not, I took frames of animation out. I put some back in, but this frame here, if I just turn off that layer below, that frame got cut because it was only when I actually put it into the context of the other shots that I thought it was too slow and the shot needed to be speeding up. And that's easily a 20 minutes of, well, maybe even half an hour of drawing and coloring there that we just wasted. And that happens a lot. You get a lot of waste and a lot of inefficiency when you're trying to make a cartoon without without a schedule.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the last thing you want is for drawings to go to waste. It's really that is an issue that you don't want to have. For those watching who are interested in doing animation, like, try and plan stuff out, because it really does make it much tighter to do.
Big time.
The Star Bearings will have an animatic.
No, it will. It will.
Yeah.
Because I have made cartoons with animatics before. This is not just me blowing smoke. We've done it, and it's been much, much easier as far as just... You can almost turn your brain... I mean, that sounds bad, but I'm honest that a lot of the creativity is front-loaded in the animatic stage, and then once you have that, it's almost like laying out the blueprints for a house. Once you've got that, you're not so much being creative, you're kind of problem-solving and doing... But it's a totally different job. You're bricklaying at that point. And it's less creative, it's more workload. It's still a lot of effort, but I mean, it's like getting the job done, which is a whole different ballgame. But I'm trying to do both right now. I'm storyboarding and animating at the same time because I'm an idiot and I haven't got a good schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk briefly about maybe some of the projects I've done recently over on my channel. Not to plug or anything, it is in the description, but so I've been working with Aya, who's someone I met through the Harry Partridge Discord, and I'm like not a great drawer. I'll just be completely honest with that. I'm okay. I've been practicing for years and kind of getting over terrible mistakes, but kind of my job has been just doing animatics for the little projects that we've done, and that has allowed me to make the creative decisions, and then for Aya, like, he can go in and he can do really nice looking animation. And both of the cartoons were done really quickly that him and I worked on together, because all the creative decisions were really done up front. There was a couple things that, once an animation comes to life, you will always have things that are like, that looked great in my head, it looked great in the animatic, but it now like needs change. But it really cuts down on that. I find that for sure.
Yeah,
so.
you start playing things back, and it's immediately becomes clear what the problems are. You go, oh, that actually is better than I thought, or that could be plussed in another way. Or we need another shot, and you do like a lot of the time. That's what editing is for me. It's kind of watching things back and just going, what does it need? And the nice thing is with animation is you can kind of edit and create shots at the same time. If you're doing a live action film shoot, you only have what you have in the can. Basically, you have to create the film out of that. But with animation, we can always go back in and go, let's get a close up there that we didn't have to get that to feel better or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna jump back to the chat and see if there's any questions, because we've been chatting back and forth for a little while. Get the chat back in.
Well, let me see.
That name. Okay, I'll do my best. Farudin Abdullah. Thank you for the question. Harry, do you ever set deadlines to finish a cartoon, or do you just go with the flow?
Whoa. I mean, I try. In theory, I do, but it's because we have these problems, these efficiency and organization issues that have been plaguing me for a while, and because if it's a cartoon for myself, there really isn't a deadline that is set in stone. It's hard for me to stick to deadlines that are set myself, but deadlines for other people. So the last project I was doing before this, one of the reasons you've not seen me in so long is because I was working on a television project, and Gregor helped in that. He helped with the organization, and actually the artist that Gregor worked with, Aya, was on that as an animator and a cleanup artist. And that was very, very well organized because it was for TV. I really can't talk about it. It's completely non-disclosure, so there'll be no information. Sorry, you'll get to see it eventually. Mm-hmm. But that had, obviously, we had storyboards. We knew exactly what we were doing. Everyone knew what they had to do. And that was done to a deadline, more or less. We still went over the deadline, but it got done eventually, and I don't think it's a huge problem that we were slightly over.
Yeah, considering how much we did in that time, it was very impressive,
Yeah, so things do get done to deadline occasionally, but not normally. You know that.
Yeah. I won't comment any further on that. I could totally.
Yeah, we got it done.
Yeah, we got it done. That's what matters. Yeah, and it's great. Cool. Okay. Let's see. Smirlal asking about animatics and if you would make them before or after you've recorded audio.
Yeah, so you can do both. You can do either one. You can kind of do a mix of both on one project. I think generally it's nice to know what you're going to do visually, at least in your head, at least have an idea, because it might be that you record the audio and in your head you have no idea if the characters are 20 feet away from each other. Are they right up close? Are they in the middle of a thunderstorm? Obviously the script is going to help you with that, but that's going to affect the way you record audio. If characters are really close together, you can be very quiet. If characters are really far apart, or they're in a big loud room with lots of noise, they'll be shouting, they'll be competing. And so that stuff is that's a visual kind of information, or that's something that's you may miss at the scripting stage, but it should be there when you're recording. You should know that information, so you do need to have some information at hand when you record.
Mm-hmm. I can add on to that personally and say I totally agree with that. Like I would say doing like a storyboard, or like even just thumbnails, like rough sketches of a storyboard before you record audio, and then save the animatic for after, because the animatic is more important for things like timing and getting certain things right in line with audio, especially if it's very if it's very dialogue based, which is what most of my stuff has been. I find that doing the animatic after the audio really helps you to kind of say, okay, something needs to happen here, I can't hold on this for too long. There needs to be more information. So that's what I found personally. So I basically agree with you. But
although I do think naturally when you have audio, things tend to start moving a lot more quickly, because you can lay that audio down and it really does give you the rhythm of the piece, and you start going like, well, I know now that this shot is not going to be 25 seconds. It's only going to be 6 seconds because we have the audio, and it starts. I think that a lot of that, the skeleton of the film, kind of can get laid down when you have your audio. So I would suggest you do kind of record audio very early on and not do an animatic first.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be my recommendation too. But, people do it differently. I'm sure there's people who do the animatic first.
Well, they might do it the wrong way, Gregor. I'm not going to advocate that, if they're idiots.
Yeah, if they're I'm sure there's some driveling morons out there who do it the wrong way, but teach their own.
No, I did that. I did the Starbarians 3 audio after I did the animation. The only thing, because I was like, I'd be animating a shot and going, okay, Kilgar's saying, I don't know, a fucking line from that old cartoon I've not watched in ages. Wealthy dwarves. I'm like, okay, that line, he's gonna basically do this thing where he leans in and does a goofy expression. So I'll animate it with the rhythm in mind, and then I watch that and I go, okay, wealthy dwarves. I would record it and then do the lip sync, and it would kind of, for the most part, match up okay, but there were shots that it didn't, and in my head I thought it was so accurate, but then I do it later on and it's not quite right, and I've got to go back and cut some frames out, God forbid, or add some more, God forbid that either. Both scenarios are a pain. So don't fool around, kids. Get the audio recorded early on as possible. Yeah,
absolutely. It's very important and saves you a lot of time. I mean, it's all part of planning. So there you go.
For sure.
Let me jump back to the chat and see. There's not been many more questions. I'm sure they'll start flooding in now. Get your questions in, folks, if you've got any. You're both welcome for answering your questions. No worries there. Hi, Moko. Welcome to the stream. Mr. Matamation says, I straight up can't work with that audio. What I'm doing starting with this cartoon is after the animation I'm finished, going back over it and basically dubbing over any audio I feel needs to be changed, watching in real time.
That is the way to do it. I totally understand where Matt's coming from there. Hello, Matt, by the way. Matt is a member of our As is Terranium. He's in the chat too, I think. Matt and Terranium are members of the Discord. They're Patreon supporters. So thank you to anybody, by the way, that gives to my Patreon, because you ain't getting much in reward for it. So thank you very much for being so generous and helping me make this stupid cartoon.
That is something we're hopefully going to address soon without going into any detail at all. Just to
we'll start visiting people in person and taking them out for dinner and
you're all gonna get some time at the Olive Garden. It's gonna be great.
I wish we had the Olive Garden in Britain. We don't have it here, unfortunately.
It sounds nice.
Yeah, I have been. I went with Stamper a couple of years. Well, 12 years ago. I think it was 2009. I went out for dinner with Stamper at Olive Garden. That was nice.
That's funny. I mean, it is the butt of a lot of jokes in American comedy, but I mean, any place where you can just grate Parmesan endlessly sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the carbohydrates. I do like some pasta and some bread. I've tried going without it lately and cutting it out massively from my diet, and it just leads to me really making up for it with a vengeance later on. It's hard to you have a debt almost where you go well, I haven't had carbohydrates or bread whatever for 3 days, so you have 8 days worth of bread in an hour, and it's well, that didn't really work out, did it?
Yeah, I mean, carb withdrawal is a real thing. It's horrible. I went through it a couple of years ago. I haven't done it since. When I first moved out of my folks' house, I was I have control over what I buy. I'm not buying any bread. I'm not buying pasta. I'm buying no carbs, going completely carb free. Yeah. And that basically put me in for a week of absolute hell, just headaches and sore stomach and cravings, absolute mad. There's a line from a Scottish comedian which is I didn't know what carbs were until I started craving them, started looking for a spaghetti toasty.
Look, carbs are the lifeblood of the Scottish. You guys can't live without, I can't live without carbs. I might be part Scottish, but definitely you guys would die out in about a week, I think.
A wee rice panini would be great,
Yeah.
It's good. Let's see if there's any more questions. James Cope asks, you guys tried stop motion at all?
Have I tried it? I tried it at university, and I did a thing when I was a kid. It was just kind of cool. I went to this extracurricular thing in my town where every Monday you would go. The first week was you make a clay model like the second week, you know, or like the first week you make the armature, second week you make the clay model, third week you test animate, fourth week you come up with a storyboard with other kids, and the fifth week you animate something. And we actually did it with like an old VHS system where you take, you know, one frame at a time.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I've tried it definitely, and even today I watched a thing on YouTube about the Game Boy camera, because I used to have a Game Boy camera, and that was one of my earliest experimentations with frame by frame animation, because I would do drawings and take a photograph each frame. But I did a lot of frame by frame stuff with my toys, and I did some at university. But my problem with it is I don't love the way it looks a lot of the time, and I also hate I don't respond well to instances of, like, I'm a big clumsy oaf and I'm just gonna knock it over and get angry and then lose my place and then move something that shouldn't have been moved and not know. There's just a lot of technical problems. I like the control of 2D a lot more.
Definitely, yeah, I can agree with that. I have a history as well. It's funny, my history with stop motion is also Nintendo, but it's the 3DS had a stop motion feature on its camera. So I did a bunch of Lego stop motion in 3D when I was like maybe 13, and I would make one like every day. Like it was probably the earliest animation I ever really experimented with, I can say. But that was really cool because, oh man, I love that that system. The 3DS was really sweet.
Yeah. I think it's fun. It's something that's kind of, I think I'd do it if I had kids. I think it'd be a nice way to show them animation.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of do it with toys, but as a way to make films, I think I prefer the look of 2D and also the control. So I'm not really tempted to ever dip into it anymore.
Same here. Yeah, I prefer 2D and 3D as well. But yeah, stop motion is nice when it looks good. Like Aardman stuff is really impressive, but just the thought of how much effort and ball ache would go into making a film like Wallace and Gromit or something. It's just hard to comprehend, you know.
Oh yeah, sure.
Try not to think about it. James Cope says fingerprint marks. Yeah, like imperfections come up a lot.
Absolutely, that's the kind of stuff that a big oaf like me, I don't deal well with things like that. I need to be able to just hit undo constantly. Don't want to work with anything in the real physical world unless I have a lot of people there who can do it for me and I can just tell them what to do.
I do love, like, there is something very kind of nice about like the original Grand Day Out or like Morph. I don't know if people know what I'm talking about with Morph. Like,
I mean, I know what Morph is. Morph is but that might not translate for Americans.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I feel like that's one of those things that could easily have crossed over because it's not, you know, it's visual comedy, right? It's basically silent comedy, so that tends to do okay in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mr. Bean is popular everywhere because
I was going to mention that
it's not dialogue-driven comedy.
Yeah, Morph is definitely not. It's just he makes little like beeps and boops and stuff. And he's got the other guy. I can't remember which one's which color, but yeah, like there is something very charming about those. But I would never. I find it hard to believe there's like claymation out there that's like cool. You know, like whoa, that's really impressive. Like really slick. I think it's mostly just like.
I like
impressive.
I do like some of the sort of like robot, inhuman kind of stop motion can look pretty cool. Have you ever seen Go Motion, Gregor?
Go Motion.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've heard of it. I'm gonna Google it.
No, say no, so I can tell you what it is.
Okay. No, I haven't.
Okay, so Go Motion was something they were experimenting with a lot around the time of the first Jurassic Park film, and ultimately they went the way of using CGI. But if you look up on YouTube, Go Motion T-Rex test, or Go Motion T-Rex, it was actually a test done for the first Jurassic Park film. Go Motion is stop motion combined with actual real world motion blur, so the puppet is still in motion technically when you photograph it, but I think they're only shunting it forward, so it kind of gets rid of some of the jitter that you get in stop motion special effects because there's actually now motion blur, but it still doesn't. I mean, it ultimately did not look as convincing at the time as the good CGI that they used in Jurassic Park, and I think they made the right choice for the action shots. But it's really impressive, and now you can do you can apply AI motion blur to animation, to stop motion, or even 2D. And I've done tests with it where you can put that motion blur back in. And it does, if not that you need it for a creative sort of stop motion project, but if you're doing special effects in stop motion, I would definitely put some motion blur back in to make it, sell it as a real thing that's actually moving and occupying reality.
Yeah. No, I'm glad I got you to explain it, because it's not what I thought Go Motion was.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. It looks really cool. Yeah, I'm seeing the T-Rex stomping about. It is interesting. It's so odd that like motion blur is like the fact that the human eye likes less detail in movement than like more. You know what I mean? To like understand what's going on.
Does it really? I don't know that.
Well, like you do like a smear frame or a blur or something like that, and people are just like, oh yeah, it, compared to if you perfectly animate every section without stretching or smearing.
I kind of do that. Not that it's perfect, but I'm very literal with the animation I do. I tend not to do good smears. I'm this character right now he's dragging, but it's not a smear. It's more of just a floppy drag. It's not like
That's true, I guess. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say because I'm no expert in it, but like.
No,
it is interesting to me that people prefer like lower frame rates with blur than like in film anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've been thinking a lot lately about how I need to draw fewer frames because ultimately, it saves a lot of time when you're an independent animator. The fewer frames you draw, the more story, the more animation you can make. But there's there's a point at which you are introducing problems. I really hate some of the animation in Trilby Dogtooth. It's very smooth, but because there are lots of shots with too many frames, it almost like introduces problems, because let's say you only have 5 frames. You have 5 frames that you can spend time getting to look right. But if you have 50 frames for the same movement, there's a lot of opportunities in there for bad facial expressions or off-model drawing or just bad anatomy, whatever it is. And it can kind of, I think, like on a subconscious level, make people, you can kind of, I don't know, like barrage people with like problems to look at. If there's too many frames, it's like, there's a lot of crap going on there. I don't want to take all that in. And you want the animation to be smooth, and you want it to have the right weight and the right timing. But I do think there's a good argument for hitting people with fewer frames and letting them, as a result, kind of, it's less visual clutter. I feel like I could maybe make some kind of sense if I kept this up, but I'm going to abandon it there.
No, I got you on it. Yeah. That's what Aya and I did. I was very keen that it was like ready to do like full frame stuff with Bare Arms especially, I think we both agreed that it was the right thing to do to like draw as few frames as possible and really focus on making them tight. I think if we got Bare Arms done, I think in a week, not including pre-production audio, storyboard, animatic. We got the actual animation done in about a week.
Nice.
And if we had drawn as many frames as maybe you would in an average project, then I don't think we would have gotten. That's just maths, that we wouldn't have gotten as much done. But then, like each frame, gets as much attention and time as you can give it. So if you have more frames, you can give each one less time, or it takes longer. So it's a whole trade-off kind of thing,
Yeah, it's funny. I like to think sometimes about how you have radio dramas, okay, and audiobooks. There are entire enjoyable stories you can tell with just audio. You can sit there and have a damn good time if you're on no one's going to have a good time on a plane, but you can have a much improved experience by being sat on a plane with an audiobook as opposed to just hearing like the hum of the plane and occasional dings and kids crying.
Yes.
So it's much better to have an audiobook, and that's no visual stimulus. So, and now combine that with visuals, even if they're not the most fluid, beautiful animated, like Studio Ghibli on acid, whatever. It doesn't have to be amazing. Even if it's kind of simple, you're only plussing the experience. It's certainly more information. People enjoy picture books. That's not animated. A comic book isn't animated yet. There are incredible stories you can tell in that medium. So, you shouldn't worry about animation having to be great. Most people's favorite animated things are not very well animated. Like The Simpsons has amazing animation, but there's plenty of episodes that don't, that people love. South Park obviously is an example of that, and Family Guy, and I mean lots of any TV show pretty much that's like a comedy TV show that people love. A lot of the time they're not animated in a way that's extremely fluid and beautiful, but even great movies, a lot of like great anime isn't super, it's not super intense on an animation level, but it's like telling a good story with cool characters. So
not like I saw someone mentioned Richard Williams in chat. I think it was Faridin again. Richard Williams stuff is ridiculously smooth. Like it's unbelievably well realized, like the things that he was able to do. But how much of that is really, it took so long to do, I guess, that he wasn't able to do as much, I guess, as people who cut corners and sacrifice.
There's a tragedy to Richard Williams. I respect him hugely. Rest in peace. Obviously, he very, very important figure in teaching just basically almost any animator working today has probably at least glanced at his book or considered getting it at some point. It has so many good lessons.
I sure as hell have.
They've been, other people have boiled them down and passed them off as their own lessons. I've done that. I've told people things that I just read from a Richard Williams book. He's like, he obviously was putting in so much detail and so many frames and doing all this work on his animated films that he wasn't able to ever finish them under his own conditions. I mean, like the Cobbler and the Thief or whatever, I forget, it has multiple different titles. That wasn't finished by him, it was finished by other people. Sorry man, for some reason everyone in my family has decided they're going to text me today while I'm live streaming.
Jeez. All right, let me jump into the chat and see what folk have got. Into the Spider-Verse is great at it. Yeah, honestly, one of my favorite animated films at the moment, just in terms of how impressive it is technically, and it looks great visually.
I've never seen it.
I would recommend it, but just appreciate the visuals. Maybe I would say the story's fine, but I mean it's a Spider-Man film. I guess it's kind of it's a comic book movie, which I don't mean to boycott. I'm just hanging myself like increasingly.
Wait, why do you hate comic book movies and people that read comic books? Why, Gregor?
Nerds. No, I don't know. No. Please help. No, like the stories are simple and to be enjoyed. Maybe for the most part, there are exceptions, obviously, but like blockbuster films, family films, stuff like that. I love Spider-Verse. Let's just look back to that. I think it's awesome, and I think it's great because of how ambitious it was. But it actively embraces the fact that limitations in the medium, make things look better or have their uses. Like the fact that different characters are animated on different frame rates, which allows them to like make movements snappier or more jerky or more smooth and things like that. It's really great. So yeah, I forgot my point. I got so
well. Maybe you can read it. You can read a chat question. I can talk about Spider-Verse a little bit as a person who has never seen it, and I have no idea what it's about. I didn't understand what the trailer was. I thought that's weird. It doesn't really look like Spider-Man. Everything's different because I think I read a lot of Spider-Man comics as a kid, but they're all from the 60s, and all the Spider-Man shows that I watched, it was really the one show. It was the animated one from the mid-90s. I mean, I watched that, and I watched all the Sam Raimi films, and I read tons of comics, but they were all from the 1960s. So I thought I really knew what Spider-Man was, and it turns out it's changed a lot in the last 20 years, and I'm not very familiar with it. And I guess they're all new characters, and I thought, well, that doesn't really look like my Spider-Man. So I didn't watch it.
It's Miles Morales, which is like I don't know. He's just a different character, and
it's a multiverse thing, right? He's in a different universe. Yeah. Okay.
So there is like quote your Spider-Man in it. In fact, I think there's two versions of it in the film, because there's two universes it crosses into. But
okay.
It's really like impressive the amount of different visuals and things that go into it. It's one of those films that I would never praise it for its story, although it is fine. I would praise it for like its visuals or its technical accomplishments more than anything.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know. Let's see if there's any questions in chat at this point, or maybe some input.
I just want to say to people, I'm nearly done with cleaning up this Magikarp, but I'm actually drawing beyond the border for a reason, because you can see that there's kind of the frame here, and then I'm drawing beyond it, because I think that what I want to do is repeatedly, as it gets smashed into the side of the door, I want every time that it comes back and gets smashed again into the door to be at a slightly different angle, so I want a bit more of the animation to play with. If I want to move it up or down, I just want to be able to do that, and so I'm drawing kind of beyond the border. It's a bit of an afterthought, and it's going to be a little bit sloppy, but hopefully I'll just be almost out of shot. So it's
you could also potentially, because he's slamming it back and forth, right? You could potentially flip the animation too and have it like smack against the other door or something.
Well, he's standing on one side, so I don't really think I could.
Fair enough.
I'm going to turn that idea away, Gregor, and
sure.
I get to dock you 10 Gregor points.
Oh no, I'm down to my last 6. That's terrible.
5 points from Gregondor.
You guys have no idea what kind of abusive work environment it's been for me. It's terrible.
No, I'm very nice, Gregor. Don't say that. I can't
joke for that for a second. Yeah, no, Harry's fantastic to work with.
I am.
Let me just make that clear. Hey, Mika Farrar, welcome. I probably totally butchered that.
Hey, Michael, thanks for coming by. Everyone, check out Michael's art. It's amazing. He does amazing. Well, I was gonna say amazing pixel art, but he does a lot of stuff that's really, really good. His non-pixel art is equally good.
I've been really enjoying the art he's been putting out on Twitter. I like it. It's great. Yep. We've also got Joel here. I think he's been here for a while. Tamagotchi.
Hey, Joel. Hey.
Yeah. And I saw Magma Muncher while we were talking through, quite a lot.
Oh, Joel. Well, sorry, not Joel. The other Magma Muncher is John, but he probably didn't want me saying that.
Right, sure.
But yeah, sorry. Yeah, I wanted to say hi to Joel quickly, sorry, before I forgot. Hi, Joel, and hello, Tamagotchi, and hello to you, too.
To me?
No, to whoever is hearing this, who I haven't said hello to in a specific way.
Them, the viewer, hello.
Yeah, thank you for coming by.
Yes.
Is anybody watching this shit show, Gregor? Oh,
yeah, there's people. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. Mage Burger's here too, hello.
Hello, Mage. Oh, hello, Mage Burger. Hello. I don't know why I said all there. I thought I read something that I didn't read.
Okay. Oh, this is a good question. Have you any interest in VTubers and live 2D software in general? No. Do you know much about VTubing, about that stuff?
So it's basically, instead of a feed of a camera, it's getting fed into some sort of AI face recognition piped through a 3D character. Okay, so instead of seeing my face, for example, you'd see an avatar that I had designed or an avatar that I'd paid for of whatever I wanted. So like a little cute girl or a dragon or whatever.
Yes, usually both combined, like some animal and some, from what I've seen anyway. I'm not hugely into the scene, but it does pop up from time to time.
So I'm imagining that one day the technology is going to get really good, and basically you'll have one-to-one. It'll put people like me out of the job, but it'll be one-to-one, like perfect. Every nuance of the face movement, every little muscle twitch will translate into the character, and I think that will look great. But right now, it just seems to be a head bobbing with like very basic, like the eyes squint and then the eyes open and then the brow like furrows. It's just, that's boring to me. I'd rather look at their. I also think it's good for ugly people, and I worry that it's just, it would just make me care even less about my appearance than I do already. I think it's a good thing to if you don't want to show your real face for whatever reason, it's a good thing. But I don't mind. I think eventually I'll go back on camera. Right now the setup doesn't really allow for it, but we'll do that again at some point. So I think it'll get better, but right now I don't really care too much about it. Gregor, you're too young to have seen this. Do you remember Tricky the Dragon on TV?
Tricky the Dragon? No.
I'm gonna.
I don't think so.
Type it if you can. You can share it in the chat if you want. It's a stupid green cartoon dragon that was on TV in 1997. I see the top result is Tricky 1997, and he was basically a TV presenter that would just talk for, he'd basically MC the kids' TV show and say, like, now it's time for Pokemon, or now it's time for whatever, Beetleborgs, whatever the show was going to be. But it was animated, and it was animated in real time. I'm guessing using not a VTuber system, but probably they just punched in, do this smile, like smile A, smile B, pick up the phone, pose 1, now transition back to smile C. It was probably, that's how they did it. It looked like crap, and even as a kid, I thought, I was only about 9 or 10 when it was on TV. I remember thinking, this is wretched, but I guess it's a good way of filling a lot of content out. So it's kind of a weird early predecessor to VTubing.
It really is, yeah. It's very much like a puppet, I imagine. I could see the person who's talking maybe like tapping a button every time they open their mouth, to kind of match it. Although I haven't been able to watch and listen to it.
Do you want to share it in the chat? I don't think it's. I think you can share it. I don't think it's like
in the chat,
offensive.
like in.
Let everyone take in the wonders of Tricky the Dragon.
It was. Did that work? That was the YouTube chat. Should I put it in Discord? I guess.
Yeah, there you go. It's actually horribly unfunny too. There was not it was not a viable alternative to a actual presenter.
Come back! Don't get lost with Tricky the Dragon. Don't let him steal our audience.
No, they're all going now. They're going to watch Tricky.
They're all going to go watch Tricky the Dragon. Yeah, no, it's basically. Wow, it's funny how little it's moved forward in the last 30 years. The technology, like most VTubers, I actually had a go at it a couple years ago. I was using Adobe's version of like a live 2D software, which is called Adobe Character Animator.
Right, I have actually experimented with that, and my big grandma brain couldn't understand anything about it. I gave up quickly.
Yeah. Even as someone who would like to think he's somewhat on top of technology, it was very hard to get into. Like, it was really it kept going wrong for like all like random reasons. Clearly, it's just Adobe software, but I just couldn't get a good result out of it. I think maybe I managed to get one stream where I had like an animated character down the bottom. This was back a few years ago. I was a bit ahead of the curve, I would say. But
I mean, hey, if you ever want to experiment it with me together, like, I wouldn't mind trying to figure something out.
Sure,
but I don't know, there's a guy that I watch. I like horror films. A lot of people know that kind of already. I like horror movies, and I'm a fan of the YouTube channel Dr. Wolfula, who is a guy that dresses up as a wolf, werewolf monster guy in a mask, and he reviews horror films, and he's kind of funny. But he does these it's terrible to say he's kind of funny. His whole purpose is that it's a comedy review channel. I'm like, yeah, he's occasionally mirthsome.
Occasionally makes me snort. I don't know.
Yeah, but the guy's funny, and he does a lot of these animated Adobe Animate characters. Adobe Character Animator, whatever it is, where he just talks, I'm guessing, in front of a webcam, and it's a good way. It does add some production value if he wants to put out an update video and not put on the costume. It's a nice way to throw out something that's not just a voice and like a looping graphic.
Absolutely, yeah. I have seen that one. You can tell, by the way, an Adobe Character Animator one by the way it's like pinned, like its body doesn't move and it like sways back and forward with its shoulders. Like, you can really tell that that's the case. And it doesn't have like most rigs don't have any of the like nice parallaxing of something like Live 2D. It's very stiff. But there are like good examples. I think it's got its place, like, for being able to do live animation. I don't think it kind of verges into Go Animate, which has its place too, but it will never replace like, hand-drawn stuff in terms of how it looks. It's always going to be much stiffer, so that's I guess what I would say about that. I would love to get a rig working though someday. Like, I really do like the idea of being able to have it like in kind of reserve to use at any point.
Yeah, I do like the idea of playing a video game as Kilgar and getting him on like as a VTuber or whatever, and just having him like rant. I think eventually I'd say something I would regret, and I'd feel very I'd probably get in trouble, but I think it could be fun to like really try and get into the headspace of just being Kilgar for an hour straight. My voice would die. I would need to check my voice into rehab. But,
it's okay though if you do say something you regret, you can do an apology video as Kilgar as well.
Kilgar.
He's in the live.
I mean, he's not a nice guy. That's the whole thing, you know. These people get upset about something a character says, and you're like, well, it's a character. You know,
exactly.
He kills people too. He's you know, you don't get upset about him killing people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know, like yeah, it's funny. Sorry, James Cope, I just saw you remember Banana Man?
I do remember Banana Man.
I remember Banana Man.
Gregor, that's before your time, surely.
No, I was a Dandy fan, man. I loved it.
Was he in the Dandy? I thought he was just an animated.
He was. He did have an animated show too.
Yeah.
But...
Well, I think I'm only familiar with the animated show. I don't think I ever watched. The Dandy is a comic book here in jolly old England and also Scotland, I guess, too.
It's all made in Dundee, which is not far from me.
Crocodile
the
Dundee.
Beano and the Dandy. No, like Dundee, Scotland.
Yeah, I guess you meant Dundee, Scotland. And it's defunct now, isn't it? The Dandy, the comic. It's
Dandy. I think the Beano became a YouTube channel briefly.
Yeah.
And they posted like web animation. I think
let's
I've
not
seen
talk
the
about
Beano
that.
on shelves, but yeah.
I'd say somebody who's familiar with the Beano YouTube channel is Chris O'Neill. Only likes to. He sent me some crap from that channel. I mean, it's not great stuff. I hate to say, unfortunately.
Sure. Well, I mean, what can you even do? Like their whole institution. I don't know. Compared to like indie animators, what on earth could like the Beano YouTube channel do that's actually funny? I guess like they have so many limits, I'm sure, because they're like an official thing.
I mean, I think it's funny when they're. I think it's funny when the kids are really evil, because basically all the characters. If people don't know what we're talking about, the Beano and the Dandy are two very long-standing British comics with like ensemble characters. So you buy the comic every week, but you know the strips are only about a page or two long, and it's like 10 different characters would comprise a whole comic. And most of them are naughty children. They're not all, but most of them are naughty or weird kids. Like
Dennis the Menace, Minnie the Minx,
Roger the Dodger, the Bash Street Kids, which are school kids that are really bad. But I mean, our Dennis the Menace is different to the American Dennis the Menace. Do you know the weird coincidence about those two Dennis the Menaces?
Yeah, I've always wondered, but I've never looked into it. Do you know what's up with it?
So do you know which one came first?
If I had to guess,
guess. I guarantee 100% you will be wrong.
Yeah, I really feel like it's the British version in the comic. Like that is my guess. I don't know.
Okay, so I can't tell you which one was created first. They were both published on the same day.
Really?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there any link between them?
I don't believe so.
That's so weird. That is really weird.
I don't believe so. And I hate to say this, it happens, and it's happened to me. Not with the same day, but it's happened to, like, other things like that have happened to me, and it drives you fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It makes you so sick to your stomach. Can I quickly tell my Dogtooth story?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, just very quickly, guys. Obviously, if you've seen my cartoon, Trilby Dogtooth versus the Snapper Chap, when I made that character, I did not know that there was a point-and-click game series with supernatural like villains in it. I don't think you fight them, but I think that they're the antagonists of the story. And the main character is called Trilby, and he wears a Trilby hat. And obviously, there's they kind of look similar too. They're both dressed in grey. They're both white guys. And I didn't know that when I created mine. And a few people have pulled me on it and said, "Well, why did you rip off this point-and-click game from 17 years ago?" I've never played those games. I don't know anything about them. It's just an annoying coincidence that, and now I'm aware of it, so I'm not going to try and do anything to like worsen it. But I basically decided I'm not going to play those games. I am going to try to just make my thing. It's completely its own thing. And if anyone pulls me on it, I'll just say to them, the honest truth is, I realized that thing came first. I just hadn't heard of it. But it's annoying when that happens. But it just happens, man. I don't know. If I was going to rip it off, I wouldn't have taken the first name of the character. Like, if you were going to copy Batman, you would say, like, this is a superhero that fights crime and he scares criminals, and he's called, like, Night Hero or, the Dark Warrior or something. You wouldn't call him Batman. You wouldn't take that part and copy that.
You wouldn't call him Man Who's a Bat.
Yes, yeah.
And he's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, coincidences happen all the time. It's really annoying. and people love to call it out, yeah, even if it, you know, which I think is fine. You know, there's not too much wrong with it, but yeah, man, that is a really rough one. I mean, I personally haven't run too much into it. I will say, my original character looks an awful lot like the villain from Anastasia, and I literally found that out like a couple months ago. Like, I have this like crazy character with like a big red jacket, and he's got like a big long scraggly beard and like a crooked smile and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, if you look up the villain from Anastasia, it looks almost like it looks extremely similar. And
I've seen both. I've seen your character. You're talking about the Doctor, right? The Doctor character.
Yeah, Dr. Locke.
Yeah, I didn't know if I didn't know if I could say the name, and that'd be a problem.
Yeah, I've already put a wee animation up with him, so
yeah, true.
It's out there.
So I don't think you have anything to worry about, and I don't think I have anything to worry about. I think they're legally distinct. You know, like a Trilby hat, a character called Trilby because he wears a Trilby hat is not. There are other characters in fiction that call Trilby that wear Trilby hats. There's an old play from like the turn of the last century, where like, they put the female character, they put her into Trilby because her name's Trilby in one version of the play. Anyway, do you know the story behind the Ghostbusters animated series and the whole problem they had with the name on that?
No, I don't know that either.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is just me being a nerd now and boring Gregor, but I think it's a fascinating story. So there is an old 1950s film called The Ghostbusters about people that catch ghosts.
Right.
Totally unrelated to a 1970s live-action TV show called Ghostbusters. I think 2 words, Ghostbusters. Yeah. Unrelated to that, but also this is about people that catch ghosts.
Yeah.
Cut to 1984 or 1983, I guess they were doing the movie, and this movie Ghostbusters was being made by Columbia Pictures, and they realized that the name had been taken, and I think the instance that they were worried about was this TV show from the 70s called Ghostbusters. So they started making the film. They started making the film, and you can find them online with alternate takes where the characters say Ghost Mashers, Ghost Stoppers. So they have another name for the group.
Really?
But it got to the point where they were realizing, like, this is killing. Like, they had scenes of extras cheering Ghostbusters, like hundreds of people, and then they'd have to retake, and they just couldn't do it. So they said, look, let's just we want to call it Ghostbusters. That was their original intent, was to call it Ghostbusters. So let's just call it that. And they had to pay a certain amount of money to the owners of the Ghostbusters name. But the owners of the Ghostbusters name was the TV studio or network, I think it was a studio, it was Filmation, who owned that name, and they did that on the agreement that if the Columbia movie was a hit, they now had moved on to doing animation and no longer live action TV show, and Filmation said, well, let us do a cartoon about your Ghostbusters if the movie's a hit. And it was a hit. And so after it hit, they're like, great, we'll make your Ghostbusters animated TV show. And Columbia said, no, we don't want you to do our TV show. We want someone else to do it. And they were like, well, fuck you. You said we could. So they went and made their own Ghostbusters animated TV show in 1986 based on their old 70s TV show. And it's called The Ghostbusters.
Right.
And then so the one based on the Columbia film that came out the same year is called The Real Ghostbusters, even though it's animated, it's not real, and it's not the version that came first. It's very confusing. There's 2 Ghostbusters shows that came out in the same year that are not related to each other.
That's so interesting. That's really, you know, the politics that goes behind this sort of stuff is crazy.
Yeah, I might be a little off on some of the dates and details, but that's essentially the story in a nutshell.
If people should look it up. For sure. To check, but that's really cool. It's really, really, you know, crazy that's how it went. I'm seeing loads of people in chat have been talking about characters they have. Mike said, or Microphar, sorry, I don't know if your name's actually, but Rasputin is the name of the guy I was talking about for Dr. Locke. Tamagotchi said that they had a Lego-based character in their project and they had to scrap it when they saw Queen Whatever, and I guess the second Lego movie. Even if they were different, it was nearly the same. Jacob talked about having an OC with a prosthetic right arm and it being compared a lot to Edward Elric. Even though the prosthetic was
Elric of Melnibone, that character?
I don't know. To be quite honest with you. Edward Elric. Let me look it up.
Oh no, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. From Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, yeah, I know this character.
Okay.
It's like the blonde guy with the red jacket from Full Metal Alchemist.
Because there's a channel on YouTube that do a really good deep dive into the this is like not really related, but it just triggered a memory. So there's a character called Elric of Melnibone who is a like a kind of elfin-looking, pale, white-haired warrior that like kills monsters. I never read the comics. Sorry, I'm probably not summing it up very well, but there is a lot of evidence to suggest that the character was the inspiration for The Witcher.
I can see that.
A lot, and there's some really deep videos on YouTube that it's not just like surface level. They both have, they both kill monsters and they have white hair. It's a lot more stuff than that. And I'm not saying either way. Like, no, this, it's definitely true or it's definitely not true. I don't know either character very well. I don't know the Witcher series. I don't know Elric series. But even that is kind of it's just a crappy reminder that you never really get away from it, and also you can still be successful with having a lot of some people cry foul. So don't let it stop. I think if you're honest with yourself and with other people and you say, look, I acknowledge the similarities, but I did not intend any I didn't know of this thing at the time, and you're honest, I think you're okay for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I think there really is no escaping it. I mean, at a fundamental level, storytelling boils down to kind of the same ideas for a lot of things, and I guess similar stuff goes for characters. I mean, you're kind of limited by what a human or whatever creature you're going for can look like, Yeah,
I think it's annoying when it's superficial stuff, like my Dogtooth example, because it's really just the name and the appearance of the character. But I don't think that these characters, to my knowledge, they don't really have anything in common as far as their personalities. I don't know. I've not played the game, but I mean, calling a character Indiana Jones, you're never going to ever live that down. Like, everyone's going to say, oh, that's a ripoff of Indiana Jones. But he could still be an explorer, but he could be like a very insecure or a very dopey guy. He could be like a comic relief character. He could be completely not like the Indiana Jones that we know. And that is going to be more substantive and inform the story a lot more than the name would. But you're never going to get away from people saying, hey, you fucking took the name Indiana Jones from that hit movie. And then you go, what? I never watched these movies. And you look like a crazy person.
Yeah. Especially for Indiana Jones, like, what, you've been under a rock. But I think, honestly, taking inspiration, I've heard this quote. I read like a cool little book, a recommendation of a college professor who I really liked, who she suggested a book by Austin Kleon called Steal Like an Artist. And the whole idea of the book was that there's really not much that's original. And your goal as an artist should just be to steal from as many different sources as possible, so that no single source can really be pointed back to.
Yeah, like, I kind of know what you mean. Like, you want to make yours a kind of an untraceable patchwork of the things that you like. You don't watch one thing and go, I'm going to lift from that. You go like, well, what did I like about that? Did I like the setting? Did I like this character? Did I like this one moment? Combine that with 1,000 other things, and then you may have something that's actually quite original.
Yeah, and everyone, like, even the people that you look up to and you say, like, these people are, really, they did original work, it was amazing. If you can find out who inspired them, you can start to see the kind of like archaeology of their inspiration and things that kind of drove them to do what they did, I guess, like the things that they made.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It was a really neat book. It wasn't very long, but it was a nice read, and it does give you confidence just to say, like, look, there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration, stealing ideas, but just make sure that you should, like, mix things up, and you should take from many different sources and build something original out of pieces of lots of different things. And don't worry about people saying it's stolen, because chances are you're never going to be able to make something that is identical anyway, because you have your own sensibilities and your own taste and style and things. So.
I feel too like the example I gave earlier with Dogtooth, it did really bother me, and I'm sorry to keep going back to it, but it was a real disappointing thing to discover. But I had to be honest with myself and think, okay, let's say you're a fan of Batman, and you
Yeah.
like the Batman movies or you like the Batman comics, and you go, you know, this character is really great, and somebody comes up to you and says, ha, but did you know 3 years before the first Batman comic, there was something else called Batman? And it was, you know, it was, so somebody else came up with the idea first and it was similar. You probably wouldn't care that much. You'd probably go, okay, yeah, but the thing I like is taking its own life, and I like it in a way that, you know, is different to the thing you're talking about. And it's just, things evolve over time. They do become their own thing. And it doesn't mean you can't like things that are similar. A lot of the things that I like are, because I like them, they're similar. Like there's crossover between them. So I'm a big fan of the movie Ghostbusters. I'm also a big fan of Men in Black. And Men in Black is kind of Ghostbusters with aliens. Like, it's not that different. It is different, but it's a similar concept kind of transplanted to a different genre almost. I've never seen the Rest in Peace department, but that seems like another kind of, it's another use of that idea. So I don't know what point I'm making anyway. I'm just saying, don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, just make what you're gonna make, and even if you want to, there's a difference between creating and studying as well. Like, if you want to study something that you really like, and like think, okay, if I was going to do Batman, then what would I do that's interesting, and like do like a writing exercise where you just basically, I mean, that's basically writing kind of fan fiction, but without, you know, some of the elements that are associated with that. Like, you know, people who do fan art and they draw things, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Just when it comes to making your own stuff, I think there's a good way to you know, be more broad and things like that.
I was talking to Joyce the other day about, you know, she's a big fan of Final Fantasy VII, and we were talking about, you know, she was basically saying that, you know, she could have, if she wanted to, she could sit down and write out a pretty good Final Fantasy VII spin-off story, because she knows the character, she knows the world, she can kind of think about what would logically happen in the story. And I said, you know, you could still do that with your characters. It'd be your original story, because it's not based on, it's based on the characters, but it's a totally different story. And then you could come up with, you know, new characters that are similar archetypes, but no one could identify as being the original. And then you've kind of got something quite original. That's what 50 Shades of Grey was, a Twilight fan story that she changed the names of the characters and then, you know, their, you know, occupations and things. And I'm not advocating for 50 Shades of Grey. I've never read it.
No,
it's probably awful, but like it's certainly, you know, legally it's like certainly distinct. And there's another example. Oh yeah, Watchman. Watchman was originally all going to be old Charlton comic characters from the 40s and 50s, I think. But then DC said, no, we don't really want you reinventing these characters and making them dark and twisted and have, you know, mental problems. Can you please come up with something else? And so Alan Moore came up with versions of the characters, like The Question became Rorschach, and I can't really think of too many other characters, but there's like, you know, things that were, I think Batman or a Batman-like character became Night Owl, and these characters became, he basically created copyright-free versions of the characters because the story was the original thing, and that's obviously what people love, and now these characters are way more famous than the Charlton characters.
Exactly, and I was seeing Terrenium mentioning that Batman was, he says it was plagiarized from The Shadow and things like that. A lot
of people say that.
The thing is, like, to me, plagiarism sounds like a very legal term, I guess. I don't think I don't always see something wrong with doing that kind of, like, taking characters and twisting them. I mean, there's things like The Boys on Amazon, which I think I really enjoyed to a fair extent when I watched it. But is anyone really crying plagiarism for obviously them, like, doing the Justice League, like, just with their own I mean, it's based on a comic book too. The thing is, like, that show sets out to achieve something that would literally never be done by the actual you know, original comics. It's a completely different thing that they're going for, you know.
Although I will say now, in the Injustice games, especially, like, Superman always seems to be evil. They love doing the evil Superman story.
Superman. Yeah.
That's probably one of the reasons I was turned off by Into the Spider-Verse. I don't like multiverses as a story plot. I feel like, because it makes things, it means that there's an infinite amount of options for the storyteller to get out of a situation, and you can always go to a multiverse where everything is different or everything is the same except for one minor thing, like one character that's dead is now alive, or a thing everyone knows. Spider-Man is Peter Parker, but now we're gonna go to this there's some world-changing thing that happens where now people forget. I always feel like that's a bit of a cheap get out. I like it so that things have a like a finite fatality to them. I like it so that if something happens in a story, like a character dies, they're actually dead. I just think that's, I prefer that if possible.
Yeah. Tranium says it's not really comparable. Well, I said that's fair. I know nothing about the Batman Shadow situation.
Tranium called you on that. Tranium just shot you down.
I've never heard of the Shadow. I know who Batman is, so I don't know. I guess what?
Gregor, have you never seen the 1994 Alec Baldwin film The Shadow?
Believe it or not, no.
That's what I ripped off. Trophy Dogtooth is ripping off The Shadow and Ghostbusters and a couple of other things. It's not ripping off some point-and-click game I've never played. It's Shadow is awesome. Shadow is Shadow is like an old pulp character who can actually. It's weird. He transforms the way he looks, but he also does wear a scarf over his face to hide the way he looks. So he grows a longer nose, but then hides it anyway. But he's basically like a really spooky, scary kind of Batman. That he uses real guns, and he turns into like an actual shadow, and he can go invisible. He can do lots of weird woo-woo stuff.
Oh, I've seen this. You've posted a clip of this before.
Yeah, I love the film. It's an awesome movie. I actually am not that familiar with the comics. Oh, sorry, it was like radio and pulps back in the day. It was little books and things published in magazines and radio plays. But yeah, I love the movie big time.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I may have to watch it because the idea of Alec Baldwin as a vigilante sounds pretty funny.
Guys, I've got to switch over and do something really, really quickly. Gregor and I will be right back in 5 seconds.
Yep.
Okay. In fact, Gregor, do you need longer? Do you need like a bathroom break or anything?
I could probably go for one.
Okay. I'll come back on my own if that's okay, and because I don't want to leave people waiting too long. But we'll be back in just a moment, guys.
Sounds good. All right, how we doing? We all right? Yeah. Sounds good. All right, I'm going to stretch my legs.
Hello, everybody. It's just me, all alone now. Gregor has abandoned me. He's returned to his Scottish hovel of origin to slay a wild haggis and beat someone to death with a bagpipe. What, a bagpipe? Is it? It's plural, right? Bagpipes. You can't have a bagpipe. I guess that would be a component of the greater bagpipes. I guess like a lead pipe. Just be the pipe, right? Anyway, how are you doing? Hello, Jacob Carmine. Hello, Joel Mayer. Yeah, you're right, Jacob. Tim Curry was a bad guy in The Shadow. Joel May is still with us. Thank you for being here, Joel. Mr. Matamation still with us too. Pleasant Lee, hello. John, sound is still on. Oh, wait. Oh, shit, you could hear Gregor the whole time? Oh, don't worry about that. Gregor isn't muted this thing. I guess that was just him getting... He just said, like... We just said, yeah, I'll just, I'll color the shot and then we'll come back. I guess the desktop... Oh, man. What a disaster today was in terms of the tech. I'll explain that to Gregor when he gets back. Luckily, Gregor didn't say anything incriminating. He just said that he was going to the toilet. Alright, folks. Let's color this bloody animation then. I'll try and do it before Gregor gets back. Bam, bam, bam. This is the shot. This is the lead-in. This effing Magikarp getting brained. Let me see. Okay.
Hey, what's up? I'm back.
Hey, Gregor. Gregor.
Yes?
I have something to tell you.
Okay.
When you got up to use the toilet, because desktop audio is not muted on my pause screen, they could hear you, but they couldn't hear me.
Oh, interesting.
So they heard you say, "How's it going so far?" and then a bit of shuffling. I don't think it was anything to be worried about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's just asking how you go. You know, you don't do that sort of thing, man.
I'm so sorry about the tech problems today.
I'm just glad I didn't go into detail about what I was getting up to, you know?
Yeah, I'm glad that you didn't do like a big sloppy fart right into the microphone and take it with you.
Just let my real voice come back.
Yeah.
I see people saying that I'm dead in chat. It's rumors greatly exaggerated. I forget the exact quote. I'm back. Yeah, Gregor's muted. He won't leave our minds. Okay. The flush. Yeah, I did. I snuck back in and muted my mic like right after I heard you go back live because I was like, oh yeah, I don't want them to hear me like shuffle back in and sit down, you know. Harry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I got nothing to say, but I'm here, and I like.
Yeah, it's all good.
Are there any more questions in the chat? Are there anything we could?
Yeah, let's get back into that. Doesn't seem there's any folks send some questions. Hello, Sid Sugar Skull. Welcome to the stream. You may have been here before. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, Wilson Debuya. I has to be Debuya. Using Toon Boom for line art and then change to animate. I need context. Okay.
No, you don't get context. That's the stupid way that I work. So I've been making stuff in Adobe Animate since I was 15 years old. And I'm very comfortable with it. I like using it. I understand it. But I don't like the drawing tools. And I like the drawing tools in Toon Boom. So I would like to kind of feel everything out timing-wise, rough it out in Flash, Adobe Animate. I still call it Flash. That's what it used to be called. Do Flash it all then, compile it all in Animate, even color it in Animate, because I'm used to using the tools. But I know I should update and do everything in Toon Boom, but I'm stuck in the mud, and I don't think I'll ever change at this point. So I like to I just take the drawings and do the drawings cleaned up in Toon Boom, and then bring it back in. I can't explain it. It's just the way I work. I think it works okay. I think it gets results. So.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I have now, you know, I've now used Adobe Animate myself for Jim Can't Swim, which is my most recent cartoon on my channel.
Yeah, everyone, you can link it in the chat, Gregor. Check out Jim Can't Swim, everyone.
Yeah, it's a minute long. You can check it out. Yeah, we used Adobe Flash primarily. Also, it's Adobe Animate.
Did you say it was a minute long?
No, is it a minute long? I think so. No, it's 30 seconds. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. It's a short. I can still share it though. Yeah, A and I did this together. He did the visuals, I did the animatic and the song. It's me singing as well. I'm sure you'll love that. There is in the chat.
My name is Jim.
My name is Jim.
You're doing a southern accent there. You're making fun of people like me. We're come down from the south.
It's Australian, it's not southern. It's
is it? Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you did tell me it was Australian. So it sounds a little bit like some people I know.
It's based on a Christian kids singer that I used to hear in the car. Yes. There's an Australian guy called Colin Buchanan who does Christian songs for kids, and he sounds exactly like that. And that's my inspiration for singing like that. There was a wider narrative. This is an exclusive. For people in the chat here, if you check the description, there is lore for Jim in the description. I didn't know
there was a description with lore.
Yeah. There was going to be this whole second part where there was going to be a news report about this situation, and it was going to reveal that this person who sang the song got arrested for child murder because of what happened, things like that. And that's where the idea came from, to really make it a different character rather than the kids singing.
Yeah.
But of course, for time and just because, you know, I think it's a better idea kept short and sweet. We just went with the little 30-second long version.
Can I ask, is the name Jim Can't Swim? That is not a reference to the YouTube channel Jim Cannot.
It is. No, it's not.
Okay, but you're familiar with that channel?
I am, because you mentioned it before. I looked
sorry.
up.
You did what we were talking about earlier. You totally copied him, Gregor. You took the one part that you would definitely intend to copy, which is the name.
The thing is, he has shortened his channel name down to JCS.
Yeah.
Criminal Psychology. I had never heard of him as Jim Can't Swim. I'd only seen recommended once, I think, one of the videos, and I didn't even watch it. It was just the one that's like what pretending to be crazy looks like, which has like almost 50 million views.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. It's not pretending to be crazy. It's crazy how many views it's got. But no, it is an interesting video. You know what? The one thing that's really interesting about that video is that it kind of shows you that it's not worth your time to try and pretend to be crazy if you've killed someone, because you're not going to fool anyone, and also it's going to be a worse time for you if you're in an institution for people with mental illness. You're probably going to have a worse time there than prison. Like, if they really think that you're about to murder people at the drop of a hat, then that might not. Yeah, I don't think there's a way that you can kill someone and come out on top. Really, just don't do it, folks.
No, don't. Bold take here, everyone. Don't kill people.
I watch quite a lot of forensic files and shows about murder with Joyce, and I just never ceases to amaze me how many people think they can get away with it.
Yeah, I can get away with this.
No, you can't. Like, they're morons that don't understand anything about, like, they think that, like, if you shoot someone and the blood like sprays on the wall, 3 days later you can claim that it's fresh, that it just happened or something, or you can claim that something that happened a week ago is fresh. No, like, scientists look at it and they go, no, that's nonsense. Like, this is, you can tell from the direction it's hit the wall that it didn't really happen where they say it took place, and just so many they can do so much stuff. So I know that you're all waiting to kill people, and you're eager to do it, but please refrain, because you're going to get caught.
You were all eager to call me dead. That has me worried, Hey, Bad Cow Bunch is here. Hello,
Bad Cow Bunch.
Good to see you. Interesting profile picture. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me talk, Gregor. It's a really important thing I've got to say that's not complete nonsense. Added on top of the pile of nonsense I've been accumulating all night. When I think of Bad Cow Bunch, the username of our good friend, aka Laser Mother, I hope I have permission to share that information. Bad Cow Bunch, I always think that it sounds like a 90s animated series. I think of the Barnyard Commandos, which was a cartoon and a toy line that wasn't very good. And I think of the Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Did you ever watch the Cowboys of Moo Mesa?
No. I don't recognize the name. The Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Let's have a look at it. I have seen bits of this before, but I never watched it.
That's a good story. The guy that created that, it's a good story about if you're willing to compromise, you can get a lot achieved. The guy that invented that show went to the meeting with a completely different show idea. He's like, I want to make this cartoon. I don't know what the other idea was. And the guy in charge said, I want to do something about cowboys on anthropomorphic cowboys. And the guy just said, oh yeah, okay, we'll do that instead. We'll do it. And then just, he's contributed as the show's creator. And I don't think he had ever intended to make a TV show about talking cows. But if you're willing to roll with the punches, you can become the creator of a show. So it's good sometimes good to totally compromise on your vision and give in creatively.
You're telling me cows and Stetson wasn't this vision?
I hope this is not, I'm not stepping on toes. Sorry.
I don't know how you would make something like that. It sounds pretty genuine to me.
Yeah.
It could be a different show, but no, looking at cowboys, it feels like something that was like, that's merchandisable as hell,
I don't want to I won't actually use the examples, but there's some people that we know who came up with a TV show, who pitched a TV show, an animated TV show, that did not get picked up, and they did so, but it had a similar title to another show that was on air at the time, and rather than change the name of the show, they stuck to their guns and said, no, we're going to keep the title. And because of that was one of the reasons the show didn't get picked up. And speaking to that person since then, they kind of regret it. They've gone on to do other things, so it's not like it's destroyed their career or anything, but they said like that was not a good decision to make, because it's not even a title that's that descriptive. It's kind of a throwaway title that could have been anything.
Yeah, I mean, if it's who I think you're talking about, I'm pretty sure they've said that publicly.
Oh, okay.
Hellbenders, right?
Yeah, okay, there we go.
I think they've talked about that on podcasts and publicly, so it's all good.
I didn't want to circulate like a story that might be apocryphal or
Yeah.
or not. I just realized, Gregor, we have a chat revenue of $9.40. And I guess there were super chats that were not read.
Okay. I can't access them, unfortunately. You'll have to go into the wherever that spot is, the thing.
It says no new super chats or members yet. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
But we did get one super chat because Magpie gave it to us. So.
Yeah, right at the start. So I'm not sure what's up.
I'm so sorry. If you're in the chat and we missed a super chat from you, I'm gonna point all three of my hands at Gregor.
My hands are up.
Say it was probably his fault, but I'm really sorry about that. If you message me on Twitter and you're still listening, I'll gladly answer whatever question it was. But you gotta be able to prove it. You gotta be able to send me the time code. Don't just say, "Hey Harry, I sent you a big super chat." Get back to me with some private information.
So far, unfortunately,
I don't expect you to find it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you to whoever it was, if indeed this is the case.
Yeah, we're not here to steal your cash.
Yeah. Thank you for the generous tip.
You're not getting any of the tip, Gregor.
No.
That's my $9.40.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why am I here? All right. Let's look at some more chat. Yeah, the chat is there's quite a lot of people who already knew Hellbenders.
Okay. See, I didn't want to.
Hey, Joel, with the super chat says have another one.
Hey, thank you very much, Joel. I really appreciate it, buddy. I gotta say, doing these live streams, they're kind of exhausting in a way that you wouldn't necessarily imagine them to be, because it's just talking.
Yeah.
But I can't have my air conditioning on. I'm hot. I'm sweaty. I'm struggling. I'm struggling a little bit. And when we're done here, I'm gonna go and I might enjoy something nice to eat. And you're contributing to that. I'm gonna think of you, Joel, when I'm having a snack.
I will too, but your money won't go towards what I eat. So just think about that, What was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm the same in this hot little room here. I can't open. I usually have my window open here when I'm in here, but obviously whenever I'm talking or streaming or on a call, I have to close it because I don't want to disturb any neighbors.
Right. When I did the last slightly artistic with Oni, I couldn't have my air conditioning on. It's not on right now, but I know that Chris is really likes good audio, so I didn't want to screw it up or anything. And I was just sweating. It was right in the middle of a heat wave, and it's pretty hot at the moment, but it was a real heat wave that day, and I'm losing it in the recording. You can't really tell, but I was dying.
Yeah, man. I mean, luckily it's a cool day here, but it still does get hot, regardless.
It gets hot in Scotland. Is that real?
I mean, indoors when you're in a stuffy little room, but
when you're cooking like 10 haggis.
It was when you cook 10 haggis, yeah, and sometimes when you're cleaning bagpipes, all the hot air that comes out of that.
Oh, don't make a bagpipes joke, Gregor. That's below you. Sure, come on. That's very it's very stereotypical.
Yeah. No, it was really hot here the other day. Like, it was like almost 30 degrees. It was really hot. And it was the day it's always the days that I walk to the gym. It's just completely brutal. So, yeah, I don't know. It does get hot in Scotland, believe it or not, folks. Don't believe the lies. Don't believe the propaganda. Okay?
I am spreading propaganda. Scotland right now is like Hoth.
We don't all eat.
Tats walking around.
I've never had deep fried Mars bar.
Seriously? As a Scottishman, that's not the phrase. As a Scotsman, you've never had a deep fried. That would be what I do day one of being a Scotsman.
I prefer having an extra year at the end of my life.
I don't know. I don't know. A deep fried Mars bars.
Maybe it's really good. I mean, there's like literally one place in like Glasgow Centre that I know does it, and I'm sure it's on menus elsewhere. But if I go to a fish and chip shop, I'm getting fish and chips. I'm not.
Well, yeah, you get that too. That's the appetizer. You wet the palate with the big greasy fish and chips. You finish off with the deep fried Mars bar. No, I'm glad you're doing that and taking care of your health, Gregor. I want you to live.
Thanks, man. I've been doing great health wise. It's a weird thing to bring up on an animation stream, but I'm doing good, man. It's great.
That's really excellent. I'm proud of you. I mean, animators, if you're into digital art, you can spend you can get a lot of seat hours in, and it's a good idea to try and take care of your health any way you can, because you want to it's not the most healthy lifestyle, and I know that firsthand.
First hands.
So yeah, guys, take care of your health. Obviously, there are different interpretations of what that means, but just generally don't bathe in pizza and glue yourself to your Cintiq 29 hours a day.
Stand up for a minute every hour. Occasionally, make sure you're not slouching.
Yeah.
Go out for at least like a brisk walk for 20 minutes in the day. It's good for your mental health too. Like, it really helps to clear your head, to get a change of space. It's I find anyway. And maybe go to the gym. I've been swimming. I mean, Jim Can't Swim is literally happened because of how much I found out I enjoyed swimming. And if you enjoy something and it's exercise, that's great. That really makes a huge difference, because you're not just enduring it, you're actually going out and actively enjoying the activity.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess we got a question from Joel, and also Magpie came back. Thank you, Magpie, for coming by.
Hey, welcome back.
She says that poor Magikarp. I'm actually thinking that might be a line in the cartoon. I think someone's gonna go like, I think he goes, "Oh, poor Magikarp," like the owner freaks out when he gets all beaten up, because it gets really gory. Actually, we have another animator called Yap who is cleaning up a shot right now that is. So there's the one that he sent back to me that he did a good job. He cleaned it up, but I was expecting more blood and guts, so I'm gonna go in and add more blood and guts to the shot. And the one that he's doing now is literally there's a ribs poking out and just blood everywhere. And I didn't spare it in the rough, so I really put the detail in, and it's probably giving him a terrible pain in the head doing all that work. But yeah, hopefully. Should we read Joel's question?
Yeah, let me do it. So Joel, thank you for the question. Have you considered? This is to Harry, I'm sure. Have you considered maybe using a bit of more or less elaborate cutout stuff? For example, background characters for future productions here and there.
Well, in terms of background characters, I tend not to do background characters that are fully animated. They may only... I don't know. I mean, I'm struggling to think of animated characters. I guess that in Starbarians 3, there are characters...
Yeah, the stadium stuff, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. That's a good point. I could totally do that. So probably one day I will. I've talked to Ollie Putland, who is a very good Toon Boom animator. He's an expert in Toon Boom, and he's very good with rigged characters. But from what I've seen from his work, it's not like it's a cheat or anything. It's not like you're getting something for nothing. You still have to put in a lot of work rigging these characters. I mean, you could certainly create quick, cheap rigs in Flash that don't have a ton of, pliability to them. You can't do a whole lot with them. So yeah, I could do stuff like that, but I'd probably rather find ways around, using Kakani. I'd probably prefer to kind of still do it frame by frame, but either have fewer frames, simpler characters, or try and find other ways around it. And I've certainly exploited Kakani a lot to get characters that look frame by frame, but are basically just cheaply animated very quickly with very little in terms of work, because Kakani can do the automated in-betweening.
Yeah. If by cutout Joel's talking about puppet stuff, I can say personally that puppet stuff really interests me, but the setup is so painful. It's awful getting stuff that looks good, and it really is front loading work, and I don't even know how much time it necessarily saves, because the best puppet stuff actively avoids tweening or overuse of certain assets. So how much time does it really save to have to make unique puppets for each episode versus just hand drawing it all? It's a genuine question. It probably does save time, otherwise it wouldn't be so prevalent.
If I can light a big cigar right now and sound like a big movie studio evil boss guy, trailblazing production. If I was thinking lately, and this is a weird mindset to have, but I think it's healthy for some people and not everyone. I was thinking about there are many shortcuts you can take in animation, but ultimately it's always going to be work, because it's animation. It's just a labor-intensive medium. I'm trying to think if the opposite would be, I don't know, improvised poetry or something where you just kind of let it happen. I know you got you probably have to read lots of books and get a good vocabulary and stuff, but yeah, it's a thing that takes a lot of time. And I honestly used to obsess a lot about shortcuts and ways to do things faster. But ultimately, if you're one human being, there's only so much that you can achieve by yourself. You hit a wall, I think, quite quickly. There's new technology coming out all the time. There's new shortcuts that are available to you. But I don't think that unless AI does something explosive in the next couple of years, which could happen, I think, to be honest, it's still going to be a slog for the next kind of decade or two to be an animator and a hand-drawn animator. Certainly, I think probably 3D will expand quicker than 2D. I think that the thing that makes the biggest difference in terms of getting things done quickly is not shortcuts. It's still hiring people to help. And I realize people without money don't have that as an option, but there's people that out there that want to collaborate that maybe are up and coming, or they haven't got a show reel together yet, and they might collaborate on a project, not work for free, but collaborate without financial incentive on a project that you give to, and you collaborate in a more keep using the word collaborative in a collaborative way. That's what I'm trying to say. In a non-employee employer way. I think there's a lot of ways you can make stuff happen. Like, look at the Animate collabs, where people take a 20-minute TV episode and in a couple of weeks or whatever they've basically recreated it. There's so many ways you can do stuff quickly with other people that aren't just shortcuts. So think about that too. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's literally like Aya and I. We were collaborating. I mean, I disclosed I did pay him for the work because I personally believe that that's important. But it was not an animator's rate because I'm not a gajillionaire. I can't afford it. But it was never about the money. It was about us both collaborating on it and getting stuff for his portfolio and to realize, some of my ideas. It was mutually beneficial, and if you enjoy working with each other, that's helpful as well. And it is really fantastic to work with. Harry and I can both say that just because Aya is not in the chat, but Aya is a fantastic animator that has joined us before here on the on the show. It's not a show, on the chats. In the chat, yeah. All right, so I'm at the point now where basically what I wanted to get done today on an animation level, at least, is done. It's not timed, guys. Don't give me shit for it not matching up. But basically, I wanted an insert shot of the Magikarp repeatedly hitting the side of the door. Obviously, the door background needs to be there. And I was thinking the reason that I animated more of the Magikarp than is necessary is so that we can get something like when it comes in, bam, 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 bam. Instead of having it repeatedly hitting in exactly the same place, I could put a rotation point around here and have it go bam. And then maybe, and then maybe on the second time around, it comes up a little bit. So it goes, and then, that's a little bit too different maybe, but, and then on this third time around, maybe it goes much lower, but comes in maybe here. So something like this, guys. This is not an indication of what it's going to look like, but imagine the door frame is in there, and there's blood flying everywhere. This is only the beginning of the beating, so it's not bled out too much yet. But yeah, something like, it's not syncing up correctly, but he grabs the Magikarp, bam, 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 bam. That's a little variation in where it's hitting on the door. So it could, this time it could come back again and hit a little higher perhaps on this time around. So that's kind of the idea there. So just to break up some of that repetition. Yeah. Good. Something like that. Then it splits in half. Yeah, it's not all timed out yet because I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, like I said. But that's the idea, folks. I can understand it now. I obviously am waiting for it to catch up, but that's cool. One more thing I will talk about, because I like this, I should do this more, is at the beginning of the scene when he arrives. This is my high quality storyboard here. Super chat. I will get, sorry, Maggie, I'll get to that super chat in 1 second. I just want to quickly make this point that I was going to say about when he arrives. It's supposed to be in the afternoon kind of time, but I want to make the scene feel more intense. And by the end of the scene, I wanted it to start transition into sunset. So what I actually did was I tinted the sky. Every time you see the sky, it's like 5% more red. So it's slightly more red there. You can't really tell. You can sort of tell maybe it's a little bit more red. There's no sky there yet. That might be 5% more red again. There, it's starting to get kind of like a purple tone, and then when it's grabbing it here, like it's pretty much yellow, purple, golden. It's not really anything. It's certainly not like a blue sky anymore. I wanted the violence of the scene. I wanted the whole scene to feel kind of red and muddy because it's sort of an aggressive, hot, sweaty, violent scene. And then when he's in the close-up, I just color corrected the whole background, but it gets more and more intensely red. I wanted to, zhuzh up the red basically to make the thing feel really violent. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's a really fun idea.
Let me read the super chat from Mag. It says, speaking of collabs, you can still give me backgrounds to do whenever. Also, Harry, sorry, I can't donate more. I'm moving soon. Magicup's looking great. Hey, Magpie, please don't apologize. You don't need to donate a single thing. Thank you very much, though, regardless. I really appreciate it. And
yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, anyone, if you're not familiar with Magpie Raven's work, check her out on Twitter, check her out Mayhem on YouTube. I mean, she's done a lot more than that, but she is an amazing compositor, background artist, animator, designer. She's done a lot of really cool things. And check out Mayhem too, which is an ongoing animated project about supervillains. It's really beautifully done. If you're a fan of kind of the Has Been Hotel indie animators making musical high-end animation with musical numbers and stuff in, I think you'll appreciate it. So yeah, we've talked about collaborating before, maybe me doing some animation for Magpie's project, maybe Magpie doing some backgrounds for me. I've been jumping into the backgrounds. I did this background yesterday, actually, this extreme angle here. That's one of mine. I may finish the backgrounds on this by myself. I don't know. I'm at the point where I can't trade work for work because I'm trying to finish this, so I may not do a trade-off there. But if financially and I can afford it, I'd love to hire you to do some backgrounds for this. So thanks, and check out Mayhem, everyone.
Do it. Go for it. That's awesome.
All right. Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I kind of achieved what I wanted to do today, and it's right around the 2-hour mark. So I think I'm gonna call it there.
Sounds good, man. Go into the dashboard and hit end stream. The stream just kind of stopped, so